Today we'll be making keto cupcakes. For that we'll need 3 eggs, 5 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, 2/3 cups of almond flour, 1/3 cups of erythritol or sweetener of your choice, 1/4 cup of butter, a pinch of instant coffee, a pinch of salt, and a tiny dash of vanilla. It also needs a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Your oven needs to be preheated at 150 degrees Celsius, and then your cupcake tray lined with cupcake liners and sprayed with cooking oil. Now we'll put it together. So first we put the butter in the bowl, and then we will melt the butter. Now after the butter is melted, we'll switch to a whisk, and first we'll add our eggs. And give it a good mix until everything is incorporated. Once it's completely mixed, you can add all the rest of the ingredients. Erythritol or sweetener of choice. And with the sweetener or erythritol, you can add as much or as little as you like, according to personal preference. Cocoa powder. And then we'll add our vanilla, salt, and instant coffee. Instant coffee is optional. Just add your almond flour until incorporated. And lastly, we'll add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Just mix until well incorporated. The brownie, the batter should resemble a thick brownie batter. And then I just take 2 spoons and I put 1 spoonful in each liner. And then we put it in the oven for roughly 20 minutes. You have to put it in the oven for roughly 20 minutes. You have to check it. As soon as it's done, it has to come out. If it overcooks, it's gonna be. While our cupcakes are baking, we're gonna make our frosting. We'll take 1/2 cup of sugar-free chocolate chips. We pour them in our cup, and 1/2 cup of whipping cream, which we'll put on the stove. It shouldn't boil until you just see bubbles on the side of the pot. Meanwhile, we add a pinch of salt, instant coffee optional again, and a small pinch of vanilla extract. After a few minutes, we mix it. Once we make our ganache, we just let it sit down until it cools and thickens a little bit. what I usually do, I just pop them in the freezer just for 3 minutes. After a few minutes in the freezer, it's going to be dark like that. In the freezer, it's going to be hard like that. So what we do now is whip the ganache. After whipping it, it should be soft and spreadable. After the 25 minutes, we insert the toothpick. It comes out clean. That means they're ready. From oven to oven, it varies. My oven gets very hot, so I cook them at 150. But you could cook them at 170 if your oven does not get very hot. Now we will let these cool completely. We'll remove them from the baking tray and I will put them on my cutting board. Now we wait until they cool completely. This recipe makes about 11 cupcakes. Now you could just put a dash of frosting. And I got some dark chocolate sprinkles that I sprinkle on top to give it the rustic look. Or you can put your frosting in a piping bag and pipe it instead. Or you could put it in a piping bag and just pipe a tiny straw in front. Makes it look pretty. Or you could do the spoon.